All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. No games, just business podcast, episode 31. Episode 31. I'm Darius. I'm here with my guy Don. What's good, Don? How's it
Man,
going, bro?
I can't complain. I seen, I had to rep my South Carolina stuff today because, they Caitlin Clark put something on them the other day.
Sure did, man.
I could even hate. I just is like, hey, I want her to win now. Because I honestly, because I don't believe in LSU, to be honest with you. I don't think they're
Oof,
gonna
I
be able
don't
to
know.
stop her.
The LSU girls was playing well the other night.
They did, but
That they
I
damn near went on a 30-6 run.
I know one thing doesn't apply for the other, but I remember when South Carolina played LSU, they smacked them around. And you talk about Iowa, who just beat South Carolina, the only undefeated team in the country. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You do got to give it to South Carolina to a certain extent. I will say that they didn't play bad. It's just that they couldn't find the bucket. They couldn't get the ball in the hoop. They missed a
Aaliyah,
lot of shots.
Aaliyah Boston didn't play her best, and they lack shooting. Like
Yeah.
some of them girls was wide open a lot of the time, and they would just miss it or they wouldn't take the shot. And I'm just like, dang, like these girls guarding you at the free throw line while you at the 3 point line, just
Yeah.
sitting in the paint because they know you want to feed the paint. But Jesus.
Nah, that girl from Iowa though, she was going crazy. When she hit that Steph Curry shot from damn near half court, and by that time she already had like 35 points. I was like, damn.
Hey, I just had it in my mind. It wasn't from, like probably middle of the fourth quarter. I said, yeah, they ain't gonna be able to pull this one out. I said that girl cooking.
Yeah, she was definitely cooking. Um, and yeah, so that's gonna be a good game, man. That's gonna be a good game because Iowa played well. Even the center, she's shooting
Hmm.
70% from the floor from the paint. It's crazy.
Exactly. I mean, shoot, that whole and then it wasn't even just her shooting. It was a couple of them that could shoot on that team also. So LSU got their hands full. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and you already know, man. You already know I'm from Connecticut, man. I am a Duke basketball fan,
Have
but when
mercy.
it comes to UConn, the girls, of course, I always represent the girls, UConn girls. But when the men's make it, we got to give them their props. So shout out UConn, man. They're gonna take this one
Oh, they
versus
winning?
Sandy. Oh, 100%, 100%. They win. They win. Calling right now.
I mean, y'all did dominate them, and San Diego State did win on a game winner. But I mean, I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. UConn's here, man. Shout out them, man.
This man, like all the major college teams. And don't forget baseball back there. He got the Yankees,
Oh
Duke.
yeah,
He like
we represent.
UConn. Jesus.
We represent, man.
But before we get started, I want everybody to like, subscribe, comment, hit that subscribe button at the bottom, and shoot, let's get it rocking.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So we got a fun one today, man. We got a fun one. We got some NFL tier lists that we're gonna break down here. Um, and then we got, you guys already know 32 teams in 10 weeks. Today we are talking about the Bucks, the Steelers, and the Commanders. We're gonna get a little round robin in like we did last week. And then we're gonna do the first no games, just business podcast NFL mock draft. The draft is in about 3 weeks. So we're gonna give you our two mock drafts, one this week and the next about a week before the draft. And let's get it started, Don. Let's get it started. So
Let's get it.
we got the NFL tier list here. Let's pull it up. Okay. So Don made a lovely tier list for us. A lovely tier list for us.
Yeah.
So we got at the top here, we got the favorites, we got the one piece away, we got the overrated, overhyped, overrated. We got
Same
the
thing.
average teams, and then we got just not good
Just not
enough,
that good. Just not
just
that
not
good.
that good, and then we got what's the last one?
Rebuilding. We got rebuilding or need to rebuild.
Rebuilding or needs to be rebuilt. Oh wow, wow. So let's get it started here. Let's get it started. So let's start from the top. Let's start from the top. We'll move our way down. So NFL favorites. The Philadelphia Eagles. You agree that they're still a favorite?
Yeah. I mean, they bought back multiple of their pieces on defense. Yeah, they lost some people, but they also still had some young people in the fold waiting to start. Like Jordan Davis, he's still there. They gonna bring in Dean as the linebacker. They bought back both of their cornerbacks. Like, and then their offense was already pretty good, and they have 2 first round picks. So whatever they didn't address in free agency, they can try to address pretty quickly because I think they have a top 10 pick. So I think they're still a favorite. And plus, you have a borderline. Not borderline. You have a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, played. Hurst definitely played like a top five quarterback. Yeah. So I will give you that point. Uh, they brought back the two main corners, which was perfect. They didn't go out and overpay for Gardner Johnson, even though he didn't get a huge payday. They lost both their safeties, but I mean, you could find a nice young safety. I'm sure that they'll find something back there. But yeah, I
True.
think that's that losing both your middle linebackers, um, and still having N'Kobe Dean there in the hunt is an X factor. I think he can step up in into that starting role and command that defense. And then, like you said, Jordan Davis. I mean, he was hurt, throughout the year. I think he only played like 8, 10 games, and
Mhm.
yeah. So I mean, having that anchor there along with I mean, their D line is on the upper side of 30. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, all these guys are 30 plus. But I mean, but they still got Hassan Reddick. They still got
Mhm.
Hassan Reddick back there. They still got their whole. I think they lost one O lineman, but they were thinking about trading him all year anyway. Um, so, I mean, you find a guard for this team. They need a running back because I mean, you can't go into the season with Boston Scott and Kevin Gainwell. But I mean, this team is well put together with AJ Brown and Quez Walker and
Devonta Smith.
Devontae Smith. Dallas Goddard at the tight end position. I mean, there's weapons everywhere on this offense. And I mean, at number 10, God forbid Jalen Carter falls to them at number 10. That's a gold mine right there. There are about 4 running backs in this draft that can start day one. I mean, if they end up not getting Bijan Robinson, they can pick up Bijan's backup. They can get the guy from Bama. Uh,
Gibbs.
yeah, they can get Gibbs from Bama. There's a couple other guys in this draft that can be plug and play because I mean they're 3 man rotation anyway with at the running back position. So I agree that this team is still top tier. Then we got the Chiefs. Got the Chiefs.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you got Patrick Mahomes. They talk about bringing in D Hop. They started, I brought this to a point last year how young their defense is. They just won a Super Bowl with 7 starting rookies on the defensive end. So I mean, this team, you still got Chris Jones. You still got Nick Bolton, who's forming into a top tier middle linebacker in the league. Willie Gay Jr. He plays very well on the outside end. The offense, I mean, when you got Patrick Mahomes, he can make any one of these guys look good. Besides Travis Kelsey being top tier, you can plug and play these receivers because Andy Reid is a good play caller. Isaiah Pacheco on a rookie deal, stepping up and playing well. So, I mean, I don't know what they'll do in the draft. Maybe they'll Maybe they'll draft another receiver. Maybe they go get D Hop. Who knows?
I mean, well, I don't want to see them get D Hop, but like you said, the Chiefs are they're probably the number one favorite out of all of these teams because they just came off a Super Bowl, and like you said, they got their defense is pretty young. I mean, Chris Jones is getting up there, but they got rid of Frank Clark, and they have like a little bit of a need for an edge rusher now, but I they're still favorites. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have Andy Reid. They still got Travis Kelce. You still got to give them that respect right there. But yeah. I mean, hey, I guess we're gonna find out who we all have winning the Super Bowl in a few weeks or a few months.
So who's the favorite in the AFC? Just say it one more time. That's just right here.
I, I'm a realist. I've been saying it. I said it's Chiefs, then Bengals,
Oh, okay.
then everybody else. I've been saying this. You the only one that don't like when I say Chiefs, Bengals, and then everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad to hear, it, man. We're gonna have to stamp this clip right here.
It won't make the cut. I could probably say.
San Fran 49ers. What you think?
Um, this is the only team that I I really believe in this team, but then I don't believe in this team because of their quarterback situation. Like I like the way Brock Purdy played last year, but he's come off an elbow surgery. I don't know how he's gonna play. Trey Lance, I'm not sold on Trey Lance. Like they have a really big QB decision, and if they don't get it right, then who knows how the season could go for them, to be honest with you. But as far as their roster, I mean, they're stacked from head to toe.
Yeah, I mean that defense is deadly. I mean they did lose Jimmy Ward, but they got the young guy from USC back there at the safety position.
Hmm.
They still got Tre'Davious Ward, who I think is a slept-on corner in this league. Very tough.
Yeah,
He's on the smaller end, but he's like tough. He's gritty. He'll get in your face and he'll get his hands on you. So I mean that's what you need in that type of defense. And he's not. You know what? He's not scared to play the opposing team's number one. That's the
yeah,
main thing right there.
he be getting cooked sometimes.
But he's not afraid to get in there and guard the number one talent on the opposite end. So hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. I mean, because when you got a front seven like San Fran does, they're gonna get to the quarterback 9 times out of
That
10
is
before the
that
ball
is
gets
true.
to you.
That is true. So I mean, I'm interested to see what like how this defense. Well, no, they added Hargrave also, but I'm interested to see how this secondary plays because they did lose some
Wait,
pieces like cornerback.
You talk about Hargraves from Florida?
Philly.
Yeah. Okay, Hargraves at the
Hmm.
D line position. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes. They did add Hargraves to add to their pass rush, which is oh my goodness, this pass rush
Hmm.
damn near cheating. Besides what Philly did last year,
I'm
um,
trying to say.
and I mean, looking at the offensive end, I mean, you can say them and Philly is right there. It's just that they have CMC, which can but the Eagles have Jalen Hurts, so it's like I'm not saying Jalen
Hmm.
Hurts CMC is on the same level, but I mean the talent is there. So yeah, it's just that quarterback situation. What's going to happen there? Because it's different from Brock Purdy coming in and making a run like the Nick Foles did, right? Coming in as a
Hmm.
backup, there's no pressure on you. You know you're the only guy. There's no one else that can play behind you. Only thing you got to do is not fuck it up and throw interceptions and game manage really. But now you got to play a full 17-week season where defensive coordinators now have film on you. They can adjust, and the scheme is going to be a little different now. And also, you have a number one draft pick right behind you. That's probably like I'm sure Trey Lance is probably like, yo, I can still play. I should be able to still play this position. So he's going to be out there competing with you to try to take that job. So as soon as you mess it up, Trey Lance is right there lurking to take over that job.
Yeah, but the only thing about it is Brock Purdy did look good for what he played about like 6, 7 games. He looked good in
No,
them.
he definitely looked good.
So, I don't know Trey Lance. I know it's a small sample size. He didn't look good when he played, but I mean, hey, maybe another year of him sitting and just watching the game could have helped. But right now, I'm rolling with Purdy. To be honest with you.
We got the Bengals. The Bengals.
Talk to him nice, Darius. You had all this in depth for all these other three teams. What you got? What you got?
I don't know. I don't know about the. You know what?
Here
I'm
you
not.
go.
I'm.
Here you go. Here you go. It was not on no
I'm
for none of these other three teams. Now it's the I don't know. I don't know. So I tell you.
Hey man. I'm a realist, man. I'm a
You're
realist.
not.
I'm
You're
a
not.
realist.
You only do it because I'm a Bengals fan.
I'm a
That's why.
realist, man. That's it. That's it. So honestly, I'm in a tough spot for this team, man. Because you lost your two starting safeties. I know you guys drafted Jackson. What is it? Daxton or Jackson?
Daxio.
Yeah, Daxton Hill. So hopefully he turns out and he's a breakout safety for you guys. You still didn't resign any of your corners.
We didn't need we bought in Sidney Jones. We only lost Eli Apple. That was the only one.
Sydney's a system guy, but okay.
Okay, okay, and
Bigger corner.
we got a great system up over there on defense.
Okay.
We bought a Nick Scott from the Rams, the Super Bowl winning Rams for safety to replace Von Bell. We still got Dax Hill back there. Bought back Pratt. Just bought in Basham yesterday or the day before. Like, come on now, stop playing with us like we ain't got that mastermind at defensive coordinator. Y'all didn't even know half of the players on our team, but our defensive coordinator Lou, I mean, he just schemes it up so perfectly, shuts down all these high-powered offenses. But hey, keep on sleeping. You've been doing this all off season. By the amount of wins that we're gonna have, we'll be ranking the AFC. But hey, just keep on hating. That's all it is. It ain't
Hey,
real.
hey, hey, I'm gonna just go. I'm just a messenger, man. I'm just a messenger.
Who is sending this message? Who is sending this
Your
message?
man Nick Wright. Your man Nick Wright. Shout out Nick Wright. Um, he said it, man. He said it. I don't really know what we got from this team right now because we don't know about the Joe Burrow contract. We don't know what's going to happen. Whether he's going to, take a Patrick Mahomes deal, or he's going to want a Deshaun Watson deal. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what's going on with that. We don't know what's going on with this T Higgins situation. What kind of
But
contract he's going to be looking
what
for.
they got to do? What they
And
got to
then you
do
got
it
to
this
pay
year?
Chase in another year or two.
What they got to do it this year though?
Hey, I'm just a messenger. This
Because
Main Street. This is on
because
mainstream media.
that's fine. They could be wrong still too. Um, I don't. I'm sure it's everybody. Everybody could find this out. The Bengals could easily do the same thing they did to Jesse Bates, franchise tag him twice if they don't come to agreement with T Higgins. So you talking about at least 2 more seasons with T Higgins there
But I
if
mean,
they don't
you
pay
talk about
him.
a franchise tagging a receiver. That's like $20 million right there.
Oh, that's what the market is for some of them right now. Like Mike Williams, he averaging 20 mil a year right now.
That's crazy. That's
What
crazy.
You don't think he worth 20 mil?
No.
I think Bird's pretty good.
What's the best availability?
Yes, but when he's out there, when
Mm,
Keenan Allen missed all the time and it was just him, Burr was saucing up some people. But the Bengals, me, I'm rolling with my Bengals. I think they, me personally, I think they the favorites to come out the AFC next year. I mean, we solidifying the offensive line. That's what's cost us these last couple of years. I mean, yeah, we got the Jonah Williams situation, but if we can get one of these guys in the back half of the draft, oh, Jonah, you can be gone for a day 2 pick. I can promise you that. And you know, I just feel like all four of these teams at the top have a legit opportunity to win the Super Bowl next year. Like everybody else, I just feel like they have like certain issues that they still have, but them four, I can definitely see winning.
You know what? To be honest with you, the favorites here, I agree. I agree. Don't get me wrong. Like, uh, my Bengals talk. When I say when I look at like offenses that are elite, like the offense is elite because you got Joe Burrow back there, ice cold Burrow, Jamar Chase. Oh my goodness, this guy is the talent is crazy. You can just tell he's naturally just gifted at receiver. And T.
Mhm.
Higgins is a big body guy that I will take any day of the week. Come on, we're seeing you at third. We're seeing you at third. Just send him over to the A. We'll pay you. T, you want that money? We'll pay you, bro.
Y'all got Drake London, ain't it? Y'all got Kyle Pitts, ain't it?
No. Yeah. We need another piece. We need another piece. So that's why we're going to get D Hop. But so yeah, looking at these favorites here, I would say because we're gonna get down to the next tier that's one piece away. And honestly, everyone poo-poos them every single year and they're overrated every single year. But the
Don't tell me you
talent,
about to say no
the
Cowboy.
the talent is always there. Like on you can't deny that the talent is always there for the
I no,
Cowboys.
no, I agree. They have the talent. They
But
do.
they
But
just
they
end up
don't
fucking it up.
that's what I'm saying. They don't put it together. So I can't just elevate you. That's the same thing with the Bills. The Bills have been these favorites the last couple years and still haven't they to be honest with you, I know y'all like to throw around regression with the Bengals, but the Bills have been regressing right in front of our eyes, but
No,
nobody speaks
I
on
don't think.
that one.
But see, I don't think they've been regressing. I think they've been stagnant. They just can't get over that hump. They win just about 12 games a year, so they're always top
But when I
three.
say but when I say regression, I'm saying when you get to the playoffs because they went to the AFC Championship, then for back-to-back years they haven't got out the second round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they've been stagnant.
Regressing.
A regression shows
Okay, well
a
let me say this. That year they went to the AFC Championship game. Okay, then they went to the second round, played the Chiefs down to the wire. Then last year they got their doors blown off. So I'm starting to see a pattern of these two teams might be like at least a good bit ahead of you because Bengals blew you out this year. And to be honest with you, the Bills should have lost in the first round if the Dolphins had Tua because they was not hitting on nothing in that playoff game.
100%. That's why I said like that Dolphins game could have went a different way.
So I mean, at this point, I'm just like they are one piece away. They could win the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna take that away from them. I don't think it's gonna happen. As far as
But
the Cowboys, huh?
But see, I think the favorites. I think you can bump up the Bills and the Cowboys and have three favorites coming out each sin, AFC, NFC, and I think the Bills and the Cowboys could be there because honestly, the Bills have the full roster. They have the pieces. So now they get that. Now they bring back Poyer, right? They have their full secondary. No one is going into the season. God forbid, there's still training camp. There's still, OTAs. There's still a bunch of stuff before the
A lot of
season
those guys
starts.
getting old,
100%. But Philly's front seven is old.
but they also do have Hassan Reddick on there, who's still pretty young. They also have draft picks that they could go out here and draft one of these edge rushers to bring
The
into the
the
fold. The
Bills, the
Bills, the
Bills,
Bills have
the
like
Bills
the
just took
20. Huh?
the Bills just took a first round draft pick. They just spent their first round draft pick last year on the corner. Elam,
Yes, but that
who played majority of the season.
yeah, but that I'm saying when I say one piece away for the Bills, it's not even their defense more so. Even though they do have a big gaping hole now, because at linebacker with
They got
Edmonds
Matt
gone,
Milano. They got Matt
Ed
Milano.
Edmonds still Edmonds was the other linebacker. What you gonna do about that one?
I'm not worried. I have Matt Milano. Matt Milano gave you better production than Edmonds.
Matt Milano was there last year, and I mean, in the playoffs, it didn't help. I mean, uh,
I mean,
the
Edmonds
Bengals
didn't
still
help.
deal with no, but I'm saying now you're gonna be getting a lesser player because you're gonna go in the draft and with the unknown. And I'm just like, for the Bills, I mean, they really need a difference maker. Like Von Miller was supposed to be that difference maker, but he tore his ACL. So now you need pass rushing. We don't know how Von Miller's coming back. You need somebody on the opposite side of Stephon Diggs, because Gabe Davis ain't that. So I'm just like, and their offensive line needs help. Like I might shoot, I might need to drop them down to overhyped now that I keep talking about them.
No, no,
Hey, hey,
no. I think they're still a favorite. Oh, okay, that's what they picked up. Deontay Hardy from the Saints. I mean, that's not really moving the needle. He's more of like a special teams guy, kick returner, punt returner. Um, but no, I still think the Bills have all the pieces to be in that top tier. Now the Dolphins,
their one piece is quarterback.
yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of people don't believe in Tua, but I think Tua showed that he was able to elevate his game last year to play like a top 10 quarterback, which he did. But it's just again, when we talk about availability is the best ability, if you're not there majority of the season, I mean, if you're only going to give us 8 to 10 games, how can we count on you to be there for 17 plus the playoffs? You know, so you're right. You're right. So the Dolphins is a quarterback away, but again, you got a top 10 pass rush. You had a bottom tier defensive back core, but you bring in a guy like Jalen Ramsey after having a banged up secondary last year that can help there. Um, and I mean, I still think Jalen Waddle and Hill is the best duo, and I mean everyone is using a two back system now. So if Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert is your guys, then so be it. I mean, they need a tight end now. There's like 5 tight ends that can go in the first round this year. So, I
But
mean,
they don't have no first round pick.
oh yeah, damn,
Hmm.
damn, damn, damn,
Damn, damn,
damn.
I'm hurt for y'all.
Yeah, Brady messed that up for y'all, man.
I mean, for the Dolphins, well, I say this: most of these teams on this list, I might have said I might need to change the title of this row a few pieces away, because I'm thinking about the Dolphins O line. I'm thinking about, yes, Tua proved me wrong last year. I thought Tua was washed. He's shown that in the right system he can be a productive quarterback. And can he win in the playoffs? That's up for debate. We'll have to see when it comes. But I mean, that's literally their two main issues: offensive line, tight end, and Tua's health. So I'm like you saying, like I'm just looking at all these teams, like the Jags. I'm just not really. I I, I think the Jags are going to be good, but I'm not sold on that defense, that secondary. I'm not really sold on it. Um, they have some nice pieces over there. I don't know. I don't know. I just find it a hard time to jump behind the Jags, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely think the Jags are a piece away. I think it's the veteran. I think it's the veteran piece that they need, whether it's probably on the defensive end. Um,
Mhm.
and a lot of times the veteran leadership comes from the D line um, on a lot of teams. And so I could agree that the Jags are a piece away from being a really talented roster because they went out and spent on defense, but they need cornerback help. They need safety
Mhm.
help. I think on the offensive end, I mean, they got the pieces to be really good. Travis Etienne, when healthy, I mean, he showed last year. Now that he's back, he is playing very well. Him and Trevor played in college together. Now they're playing in the pros together. That's fantastic. You bring in a guy like Calvin Ridley. Hopefully, he can come back, revamp his career a little bit. Christian Kirk showed that he was worth the money that they spent on him. And Evan Ingram from almost being a bust of a player for the Giants has revamped his career in Jacksonville and played very well last year. Now he's playing on a franchise tag, trying to find a long term contract. So yeah, I think they're lacking veteran leadership. This is a very young roster, so I could agree with them in this tier. I could agree with the Dolphins being in this tier. I personally would bump up the Bills one tier to the favorites. Um, and Dallas, I mean, Dallas, I think low key had a really good offseason. And, we're gonna get into this a little later, but uh, about a certain player on this team. But I mean, you bring back Tony Pollard. Hopefully, he has some explosiveness. Uh, this team, don't be surprised if they go get Bijan or if they go get a tight end because they need a tight end. The defensive end, I mean, the defense wasn't their issue. It was Dak throwing 14 interceptions. That was their issue. But also, they needed another weapon. And they went out and got Brandon Cooks. And you
But
also
but
bring in a
but Cowboys fans say that's an anomaly. Dak ain't gonna do that no more. A guy just told me that the other day that Dak ain't throwing that many interceptions again. And their favorite line is all of them wasn't on Dak. I mean, it's a proven stat that a lot of those interceptions was on the wide receivers. Oh, okay, I don't see nobody else fan base
yeah, I
coping
don't know
for
about that.
their team for their team quarterback. I didn't hear the Bills fans saying, "Oh, a lot of those interceptions wasn't on Josh Allen." I didn't hear none of that. But hey, go off, Cowboys fans. I get it. Y'all need hope. Y'all need to have hope in Dak. I get it. I think Dak's a good quarterback. I just don't know if he's a level of quarterback that can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think he's a level of quarterback that can win the Super Bowl. That's why I'm debating on favorites and one piece away because I mean if you lose Dak, then it's like who do you bring in? So
Hmm.
it's I don't this team is pretty much this is another very stagnant team that wins 10 to 12 games per year and loses it in the playoffs every single year.
I
So
just I just don't know how you that high on the Bills, but I'm gonna just leave that right there
because
because
I,
the
I, I
Bills
truly
have.
believe, I truly believe in Josh Allen. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think that someone needs to get into his ear and says like they need to slow down the way they play the game.
You can believe in somebody, and like I believe Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, but I'm not gonna bump him up just because they have Justin Herbert. The Bills have proven that they shouldn't be the favorites going no favorite going into next year because there's two teams that's legit better than them, have better quarterbacks, have better rosters, and they've proven that they can't beat neither one of them when it matters.
No, because I could say that the Bengals and the Bills roster is just about the same.
It's not offense for offense. We have a better roster, better offensive line, better quarterback, better wide receiver. Um, I
Better
give them the
offensive
tight.
line.
Yes, yes. Tight end, I give it to them because we don't have a tight end right now. Better running back. Um, the wide receiver weapons ain't even a competition. Defense. I think the defensive line is about a tie, but I would more so lean Bengals. But hey,
No,
linebackers, Bengals,
no.
secondary. Now that we done lost all our pieces, I give it to the Bills. But I don't. Their rosters aren't equivalent.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think their rosters are very, very equivalent, except the running back position,
You
except
got
the
a better
few.
argument with the Chiefs and the Bills than the Bengals and the Bills.
No, besides the Chiefs D line, I mean the Bengals damn and the quarterback and the tight end. The Bengals have a better again. All of them have very similar rosters. They're all top tier. They all have top tier talent. You know what the Chiefs. The thing I like about the Chiefs is that their defense is so young. The pieces that helped them win the Super Bowl this year is so young and so slept on. I'm like, how can as long as they develop and get better and take another level, this team is going to be very tough to beat because the receiver position, Mahomes can make any one of these guys look good. So I'm not really worried there because you still got Travis Kelce, who's going to be your safety valve.
But you ain't got to convince me on the Chiefs. I know about the Chiefs. The thing is, the Bills is like the Bills have not done nothing over and over, and yet this be me and your argument. You try to promote teams that have not done nothing, but I guarantee you, if it was the Bengals that was the Bills, you wouldn't be promoting the Bengals as this team. You'd be like, they haven't done anything to be considered the favorite. But since it's the Bills, and that was your Super Bowl pick last year, you're still backing them, and I just don't get it. Like, I'm not saying the Bills can't win. I'm not saying they couldn't beat the Bengals or the Chiefs. My thing is, as of right now, I can't say that they're favorite based off of the talent that they've lost. They didn't do nothing to help Josh Allen. It's still just Stephon Diggs over there, which is we've seen. You can shut down Stephon Diggs in a playoff game, and then they have nothing else. And
I think
then,
I think a lot of teams are trying to figure out this D Hop situation. I think
but the
that's what it
Bills
is.
have said that the Bills said they ain't trading for him.
Come on. There's some teams that said they're not trading for Lamar, but I still think that there's some teams out there that might try to go get him.
But I think that one is a little different. You talking about 30-year-old wide receiver who I think his cap hit is like 20 something, or he's getting 20 something this year. The Bills ain't trying to kick out no 20 something for him when they could just go in the draft and probably draft one of these young boys that's in the back of the first round.
Yeah, yeah, because there's some good players. Um, all right, so let's get to the overhyped. Honestly, all right, let's start off with the Lions. Um,
Do you
so
agree?
I could agree because now they have a level of expectation. That's the issue
Mhm.
right there. It's the expectation. Okay, the Lions have showed that they could be a really good roster. Everyone is expecting them to take another leap, and that leap is to win the division. Can they? Yeah. They brought in Gardner Johnson, which is great. They brought in the corner from the Steelers, which is great. I still think they need another corner. They got 2 first-round draft picks. Um, they probably need another weapon on the outside. Their O line is top 5. They bring in David Montgomery, which I think is better. Who's better than Jamal Williams as a pure running back, every down back. And then the Swift situation is the issue because now is he going to stay healthy this year? Now he it seems like he's not going to have that starting spot, so he's going to be a third down back, which is solid. So they also need a tight end after losing Hawkinson. But it's the defense. The defense played horrible last year. This team would be 10 times better if that defense wasn't so bad. So they still need pieces, and they might be a little overhyped now because of the expectation.
That's exactly why I put them there, because I'm just like, they got all these expectations to win that division now. They that people are boosting up Amar St. Brown, they're boosting up Jameson Williams. People are starting to change their mind on how they feel about Jared Goff, and I'm just we went through the schedule last week, and I'm just like, I
They got a
don't
tough
know,
schedule.
man. I'm not too ready to say that they're definitively gonna win 10 games. And so I'm just like, yes, everybody's hyping them up, but have we looked at the schedule to see who they're actually playing? I think it's just gonna be like all the hype, and maybe they're not able to back it up. And maybe the Vikings win it again for another season because of how tough that schedule is, and the Vikings having like at least some type of level of consistency of showing that they can win this division, or they can be competitive. And as far as like the Baltimore Ravens, bruh, Baltimore Ravens had the worst offseason out of all NFL teams. And huh?
It's tough because when you're talking about paying a quarterback 200 plus million dollars, you don't like your centerpiece is the quarterback. So it's like what I can't go out and spend money that I don't know if I'm gonna have to spend for Lamar. So I think it's really because of the Lamar situation that they're not really going out and making moves. So yeah, I could agree that Yes, they've had a bad offseason because they don't know what the Lamar situation is going to be. But I could also agree with them being overhyped because, listen, I'm not worried about their defense. I think their defense is a top 10 unit.
But you
And
ain't worried about it?
I'm worried about the offense. They don't have
True. Oh,
receivers.
you mean like that?
If
Okay.
if Rashad Bateman goes down, we already saw that Mark Andrews. It's easy to take him out the game because that's all you have to worry about. There's literally no second option on this offense as far as a receiving threat. In the running back
Mhm.
position, you can't run the ball the whole game. You can't run the ball the whole game. And we already noticed that Tyler Huntley isn't the answer if Lamar Jackson isn't there. So that's the only reason why this team is overhyped is because they're actually pretty good. It's just that the offense is missing a lot of pieces in order for them to take another level.
I can 100% agree. That's my thing. It's the Lamar situation. It's the wide receivers. They don't build around this guy, and I'm just not sold on this team, to be honest with you. I think that their window has closed, to be honest with you, to be able to come out the AFC. That's why I just think they're overhyped now. Everybody's still, you know, how how some people think about like the Steelers and oh they was good they've been good all these years, so that means they gotta be good. Like that's fine, they can just be a good little team, but I don't think they're going anywhere. Kind of remind me of the Titans like a few years ago. None of us could see the Titans come out of the AFC, but they were still a competitive team every single year. And now the Titans are mm, mm, but and then the Jets. Yo, New York fans are going crazy because they supposedly gonna get Aaron Rodgers. Cool, cool, fine and dandy. That's all cool, but you don't even know how long you're gonna have this man. So you think just because Brady and Stafford won the championship in their first year, you think that oh we get Aaron Rodgers, all our problems are gone, bro? Y'all trade them away most of y'all wide receiver weapons. Y'all O line is still shaky, and Salah had one good season. Are we just anointing him as this great coach just yet? I mean, we haven't seen it, so I'm just not too sold. And then on top of that, are we just like ignoring how Rodgers played last year? Or are we just gonna say, oh, that's an anomaly? He's gonna play better because he's out for revenge. He wants to show the Packers. Like I'm just not. I just think the Jets are gonna get really overhyped this season just because of Rodgers and just because of their location, because they're in New York and New York has this big fan base. But I'm not sold on them.
Oh, I'm 100%. I don't think they're overhyped. I think they should be bumped up one tier to one piece away, and that's the quarterback. That's the quarterback position. But I don't. I agree with you as far as I don't believe in Rodgers being that guy. I honestly think they should have went out and got Derek Carr or what's his name, Jimmy G, or even go
Lamar.
get or go get Lamar Jackson. And honestly, I think that would have been a better Super Bowl. They would have that those quarterbacks would have gave them a better opportunity to two better than one because you know how I feel about Derek Carr. Thank you, James, for taking him over. But anyway, but yeah, I don't believe in Rodgers. Like you said, look at his last season. He hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 10 years. He's not like he's not like the game changer that Matthew was for the Rams or Brady was for the Bucks. And yeah, so I mean the Jets defense is top tier. The offense has some really good young pieces that now they're thrown around just to compensate Rodgers. Uh, yeah, so this team is now an overhyped team. So I could see it being here, but if they weren't going all in for Rodgers, they'll be one piece away that can make them a potential Super Bowl favorite. But again, Rodgers couldn't even run the table against let's see here against Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins. Look at all the quarterbacks that I just named.
He didn't even make the playoffs, bro. And now he coming
Always
to the
quarterback.
he coming to the AFC, and now everybody just anointing them like they gonna be better than the Bills, Dolphins, like hell, like they gonna make the playoffs because I don't think they making the playoffs. But I
I got them
I
winning 9
understand.
games.
I understand you say that they are one piece away, but I don't think they should be on that level because you still got to think about they need an offense. Their offensive line was hella shaky last year, and they're trading away wide receiver pieces one after another. Elijah Moore is gone, and we don't know what's going to happen with Corey Davis. They're trying to bring in Odell. They brought in Lazard. Like the paintings on the wall to me, Corey Davis probably gonna be gone, and the only one that I'm really gonna be looking at like that that's like that is Garrett Wilson. Like I don't know how Odell's gonna look coming off of 2 ACL surgeries and being 30. So I'm not high on the Jets at all.
Yeah, I could agree, man. Uh, LA Chargers. Yeah, this team is pretty much overhyped. Uh, honestly, Justin Herbert has the intangibles to be a top 5 quarterback. Like that's when you look at Justin Herbert, you're like, man, that's a his talent is top 5. But then like you just see what he does throughout the year, and it's just like that's more like top 10. And I'm just like, I'm like, it's like he's always borderline, really, really good and just good. So,
Mhm.
I mean, Keenan Allen's getting old, but I mean, he's just a target monster, and so that he's just eating up receptions. Mike Williams, I think he's had one healthy season out of the 5, 6 years he's been in the league. Um, they got Austin Eckler, he's looking for a payday, which he said he's underpaid. I could agree from his production the last 2 seasons because he's a touchdown monster and he's a weapon on the passing end and the rushing end as well. But we're talking about the running back position, and that defense is on paper is really good, and then they get on the field and it's just like,
So,
eh,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, this team is very overhyped.
I really believe they became really overhyped once they got Justin Herbert. People
Yeah.
saw the throws that he could make, and they just started hyping him like he was the second coming of Jesus or something. And don't get me wrong, he's a good quarterback, but this team hasn't proven nothing. They blew it what a 28-3 lead, 27-3 lead in the playoffs. Then you still talk about are you sold on their head coach? I'm not. I don't know if Brandon Staley is good or not. Um, their main issue is this team is always injured. Jesus, if it's not Keenan Allen, it's Mike Williams, Rashawn Slater, J.C. Jackson, Bosa. Like they always have somebody out, and every year, people. Since they got Justin Herbert, oh, the Chargers could win the AFC. I've heard that last year. I'm just not too sold on them to be honest with you, and that's why I just think they're overhyped.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, yeah, yeah. Even Derwin James,
Hmm.
he missed. He played in 2019 5 games. 2020 he didn't even play, and then the last 2 seasons he played 15 and 14 games. So at least 2 to 3 games missed every single year,
Hmm.
except his rookie year. So yeah, let's get to the average teams, the Vikings. This is another team that's just super stagnant for me. Uh, they have a high-powered offense that for some reason Kirk Cousins just can't lead them over the hump. But also their defense is really bad.
Trash.
The defense is really bad. When we took a look at the Lions defense, I mean, the Vikings is probably up there with them. So, and I just think that Kirk Cousins isn't going to be able to get them over the hump and beat a lot of these other teams with a bad defense like they have.
I agree. I'm gonna just zoom through all these teams because all of them ain't hitting on nothing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like you said with the Vikings, defense is the main issue. I know they brought in Brian Flores. I don't know if he's gonna be able to fix all them problems that they got. And Zadarius Smith say he wants to be traded up out of there. I don't know the situation if they're gonna trade him or not, but that's a problem. The Saints. Alvin Kamara is gonna be gone. They have a lot of old people on that team, to be honest with
Yeah.
you,
So
and I mean, you know, I'm pushing the narrative. The Saints going to NFC South, but you counting on Mike Thomas to come back?
he hasn't played in 2.5 seasons. He barely played
Uh,
last year.
don't you do that? Don't you do that? I don't want to hear that come out your mouth because you
What
was
you?
bigging up Calvin Ridley and when he missed the year.
But see, that's
So
different. That's different though. That's different. I'm not saying Calvin really was on Mike Thomas level when Mike Thomas was like that,
mhm,
but Calvin really wasn't coming off injury after injury after he.
I
Mike
agree.
Thomas has been injured for 3 seasons. Calvin
I agree.
really left the game and then got suspended.
I agree. As far as the Raiders, tuh, defense is trash.
Shoot,
You got Jimmy.
they should have been bumped down one tier. You should
Just
see that's you know what that's what should have
I
happened
don't.
right there.
I
You
don't.
should have
I don't.
switched the Falcons
I
to
think,
average, and you should have bumped down the Raiders.
bro, stop it. The Raiders they still have Max on the defensive line. They still have weapons on the offense. You can run for Renfro, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. I think they're going to be an average team. The Browns. I know Jimmy loves the Browns, but I'm just not seeing it.
You on the
I,
payroll,
I
man.
I'm not seeing it. I need to see it before I can believe it. Um, I mean, it's the Browns. Steelers. I don't think they have enough high end talent on the offense, to be honest with you. Like George Pickens is good. Devontae Johnson is good, but they don't have no game changer on that side of the ball. Kenny Pickett is good, but like I said, no game changer. Seattle. I just I don't know how much I believe in Geno, to be honest with you. I believe he's good, but I don't see him leading this team past the first round, to be honest with you. And then the Giants. I like Dayball, but uh after Dayball, it's like, do you believe in Daniel Jones? I like Saquon, but he might only be there for another year, and then they still don't have a wide receiver weapon. I do like that they picked up Renfro, but I'm just,
You
I
mean
just
Waller?
think they're just, yeah, Waller, my bad. I just think they're gonna be average.
Yeah, you hit it right on the money. The Saints roster. I mean, that, besides the Saints, I don't see no other team really competing in NFC South. I mean, the Panthers got a young roster, but I still don't think they're not there yet. And I think the Saints is going to be the one in 2 years that's going to be like they're going to be one of the bottom seeds in that NFC South because they're just an old roster. Like Tyrann Mathieu isn't what he was with the Chiefs. Marshawn Lattimore can't stay healthy throughout the season. Mike Thomas, we don't know what we're getting from him. I don't even know that. Oh, Chris Olave. Besides him, I don't know because they don't have Jawan Johnson who scored 8 touchdowns last year, 8 to 10 touchdowns last year as a tight end. They didn't re-sign him. Alvin Kamara, we don't know what's going on there. So I don't know about the Saints roster. Like you said, it's just an old team. The Raiders, I mean, pure disappointment. Josh Jacobs isn't. It's a running back. He's not going to give you 1,600 yards again with 10 plus touchdowns again. He's not going to do that back to back. So he may be 1,000 yard rusher, and then also he was beat up last year. There was every single week he was going into something with an injury report. So he took a lot of his body took a lot of beating last year because of the amount of touches he had, and he was effective on the passing end as well. So we don't know what we're getting there. We don't know how this Jimmy G and Devontae Adams situation is going to look. The defense is just bad. Besides Max Crosby, there's no one on that defensive end I can say really has a solidified starting position. The Browns, I don't see this team winning more than 7 games.
Damn.
The Deshaun Watson deal is going to be that's going to be one of the worst deals in history for the Browns organization and not for Deshaun Watson. He's going to have money for life. He's going to be getting paid even after he's not with them anymore. So, yeah, I don't see the Browns situation working out. The Steelers, I think you're right on the money with it's the offensive piece that they're missing. Explosive offensive weapon like a Le'Veon Bell or or Antonio Brown, which they don't have, because George Pickens can be really good. Deontay, I like Deontay at the receiver position. So Kenny Pickett also got to step up, and they need O line. They need O line help, and the defense is top tier. It's just that they can't stay healthy. TJ Watt is another one that, for some reason, Joey, Nick, TJ Watt, and even JJ was the same way. All these top tier guys, they just couldn't stay healthy, but when they're out there on the field, they're super productive. So, yeah, and then the Seahawks, I think it is Geno as well because they have pieces everywhere. They got the receivers. Hey, believe it or not, what's
And
the
the
name?
defense. I'm not sold on the defense like that either.
But the defense is young. The defense is
Yeah.
very, very young. And if you can bring in a guy like Tyree Jackson to help out on the defensive end, because they even talking about the Seahawks potentially getting Anthony Richardson as well. So they may draft a young piece, or they may try to get a difference maker on the defensive end with Tyree Jackson, who's 6'7" and can get to the quarterback. And then I didn't believe in the Giants anyway. I think like you said, I like Dayball. The defense actually overachieved last year. We didn't think that defense was going to take that level of jump. Daniel Jones should be better with having a weapon like Darren Waller, but we're talking about a team that all their receiving weapons was hurt last year, except Kenny Golladay, who really didn't play because he didn't live up to his contract. And you bring in a guy like Darren Waller, who, yes, when healthy, was a very talented tight end, but also didn't play majority of the year last year because of injury. So we're just bringing in a guy that's the same cycle that this Giants roster has dealt with all season. And then Saquon's situation. We don't know if he's going to be there next year, the following year. We don't know if he's going to get his money. We don't know. And then he can't really stay healthy as well. You look at his first half of the season production compared to the second half, and there's a difference there. So, yeah, I don't know about any of these teams. These teams are like just barely scraping by to get into the playoffs and like one round exits.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to the what is this tier here? This
just not that good.
Yeah, that's false information here. I will bump up the Falcons to the average tier, and I would bump down the Raiders to this tier here because honestly, since Arthur Smith came to the team, I mean, the Falcons overachieved. The last 2 seasons, they were expected to win 5 games in each of those seasons. In both seasons, Arthur Smith with a so-called bad roster, won 7 games. And last year, there's only been 1 game that they didn't lose more than 4 points.
Then why they got him on the hot seat if he don't deliver this season?
What? I don't think Arthur Smith is on the hot seat. I think this is him and Terry's. You talking to a Falcons fan here? Trust me. You got to trust me on this. Arthur Smith is not on the hot seat. The simple fact is, Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn put us in cap hell when rightfully so they paid Matt Ryan. Okay, cool. Matt Ryan is still getting a payday to this day, by the way. So this has been the first official season in 4 years that the Falcons was really able to go out and get free agents to come to the team. I think that the David Ayamada signing was good because now you're bringing a big body 300-pounder to anchor in that defense with Grady. And then we drafted four 4 pass rushers last year in the draft. 4 pass rushers. So we got 4 young pass rushers. We got the dude Carter that we re-signed. You bring in Calais Campbell, who is a veteran. He said the reason why he stopped his tour to go to the Jets and I think the Bills, and he said because I like what the Falcons are building as far as a foundation. So you bring in a guy like that has that's been around the league for a long time and can help teach these guys. Jesse Bates was our splash. I mean, if you can get another, we still have Casey Hayward. I'm surprised, but he's still on the roster. It's just that they need a big time playmaker on offense. We don't know what Desmond Ritter can be, but Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they seem to talk highly of him, and they seem to like him. So who knows? Who knows? But we need another receiver, we need another corner, and we need another running back. And I think the offensive line is now officially a top 10 unit. That's what they played like last year. So now we went from bottom half, bottom tier to around that top 10 area, top 10 to 12. And this team will be better. So 7 wins back to back. They should be able to win. Hey, we already know we got our bet. They're gonna win 9 games next year, and we might win the division. As far as the Green Bay Packers, they're just not that good. We don't. I guess we could say we just don't know what Jordan Love is. Really, we don't know what Jordan Love is. They need receivers. They need a tight end. Um, Hopefully they turn into the best rushing offense in the league because they with the talent back there with Aaron Jones and the other guy I forgot. Oh, AJ Dillon. They can be a good duo. The defense, they have their ups and downs, but they can't stay healthy.
They
The
turned it
Pa-
on in the second half of the season. I'll give them that.
the Packers have always been like that. They've always been a second half roster. The Patriots, I think, is just I don't think they're that good. I think Bill is just feeling himself way too much, and it's just like he has to pound his chest, and he thinks he's the man, and his way is always going to work, and it's not. Juju isn't the answer. Mike Gesicki isn't the answer. They need some explosive weapons on this offense, and they're probably again going to just stay the course and pick a O lineman. The defense is always right in the middle of the pack, around that 10 to 12 range, like I would say 8 to 12 ranking every single year. So they're always a solid defensive end. The Washington Commanders, I think this team is actually average. This is another team you can bump up a tier because they have a good trio in receivers. They need a tight end. They believe in the running back, the kid from Bama.
Gibson.
Yeah, and they have Antonio Gibson, but the D line is damn near. You could say with Chase Young at healthy, their D line is probably like top five. Is probably like top five D line from a lot of these other teams. So they got some talent on the Washington Commanders. They just need a quarterback. So if you're going into the season with Sam Howell and who's there and Ron Rivera is the coach, you're in trouble.
This tier right here, I'm just gonna zoom by them because none of them worth talking about.
Falcons, we here, man. We here.
Speaking of the Falcons, I got them in just not that good tier because of literally I have questions about their second cornerback position. I know you like to big up Hayward off of 6 games, which is craziness. And then so I got questions about him. Your quarterback. I need to know what we gonna do with Desmond Ritter. I cannot just say they're gonna be average because we've seen a quarterback can affect a whole team season if you don't have at least an average quarterback. So if Ritter is even average, I can't bump them up to average because he could sway the whole season. To be honest with you, this team, I'm just. I would like that. Me personally, I know y'all have some pieces there. I would like y'all to get somebody like a legit person on the opposite side of London. Me personally, but because you have two big body, you have Pitts and you have London. I, I know you have isn't Bird? I think Bird is pretty fast, but I'm not
Now we
sold on
picked
him.
up. Well, I don't think we signed Bird back, but we picked up Scotty Miller from the Bucks. I
You
mean,
that you
Brady actually really likes Scotty Miller.
I mean he delivered sometimes in playoffs for them, but Packers. I got my Jordan Love agenda, but I mean, same thing. I can't say one thing for one person and not have it for the other. I don't know what Jordan Love's going to be. So, based on that, I can't say you're going to be average. Also, wide receivers. I know y'all kind of started to turn it around at the end of the season, but I don't know if y'all good enough to be like number one to number two in this league, to be honest with you. The offensive line is getting pretty old. Might need to retool that. Patriots. Tuh. Bill Belichick talking about what they did off of 25 years ago, over the last 25 years, when they asked what the fans have to look forward to for as Patriots fans. And he talking about look at the last 25 years. That tell you all you need to know right there, that the Patriots are going to be ass. But me personally, I think they're going to be average, but I just can't put them up there because who on offense are you scared of? Literally.
Yeah, I'm
I
not. I'm
literally
not
don't
scared of him.
like. There's literally nobody on offense that you even have to even like just even even think twice about. Ocean, can I single coverage him? Like I'm not worried about none of them. Commanders, it's the same thing. Like I kind of feel with your Falcons, unknown commodity at quarterback, and then cornerback. I'm not too sold on them at cornerback. I'm just I don't really want to. I don't want to touch this team because I don't know what they're doing. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
and if they banking on Sam Howell, bro played one game, and y'all just acting like he like that was the best game y'all ever saw. So that's why I think they're one piece away. I mean, they're a quarterback away, and just not going to be that good until they fix that quarterback position.
Now, what's this
Last
last tier here?
last tier is rebuilding or need to rebuild. So yeah, I'm a zoom by them. I ain't even gonna talk long about them.
Yeah.
So teams like the Panthers, Colts, Bears, who else down there? I guess you could say the Cardinals since they don't have Kyler. They're rebuilding. But then the other ones need to rebuild. The Bucks, the Broncos, the Titans, the Rams, all of them have been good somewhat throughout the last couple years, but now they either have washed up quarterbacks or they don't have a quarterback now, or the team roster is just not that good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they need to rebuild.
I'm gonna let that slide today. I'm gonna let that slide today
Hey,
because
I got both
the
of your
time,
boys down there.
because the timing. But yeah, Panthers. I guess they're moving in the right direction. They got a solid defense as far as young defense. I'm not really sold on the offense yet, and now they get their franchise quarterback. The Colts. They're again. They got a solid defense. They got. Hopefully JT comes back. Actually, the Colts should be up one higher than this because they have a top five running back when healthy. They have Michael Pittman, who's like a top 25 receiver, a top 30 receiver, um, but they're number one. The Bears are rebuilding, but they're moving in the right direction. The Bucks need to rebuild, but they got a young secondary, and the defense isn't horrible. It's just they have no run game and they have no quarterback. Um,
Yeah,
the
they say
the
that.
the Broncos, they again, this is another team with a good defense. That the offense is a little shaky. Hopefully, they get better. They could probably be bumped up one tier as well.
And also, don't have a quarterback.
Uh,
Cardinals, what you got for the Cardinals?
I'm gonna let that slide. Cardinals, they definitely need to rebuild. They need to rebuild that defense. Only piece they really got is Marquise Brown and Kyler. Other than and they help. They
Isaiah,
hurt.
I like
One of
I
them is
like
hurt.
Isaiah. I like Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, he has his ups and downs in coverage. Um, but Titans definitely need to rebuild. Texans in rebuild mode, and Rams damn sure need to be rebuild at this time. So yeah, that was a good one, Don. That was definitely a good one. Let's get into the next subject here, and we are gonna get into 32 teams in 10 weeks. So we got the Bucks, Steelers, and Commanders. What do you think the Commanders should be doing?
First off, Dan Snyder needs to be trading. I mean, selling this team. That's just where it starts off at. That's where it starts off at. And then after that, or Dan Snyder, go get Lamar. Jesus, I don't understand. I don't know how much faith y'all gonna have in Sam Howell. I'm just not sold on him. I would rather have a proven commodity than. I mean, I seen a report. They said they're hoping Sam Howell can be Brock Purdy. When do teams just start settling for like average instead of going out here and getting like a superstar quarterback? That junk just sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, that's wild.
I also feel they need to show up that old line a little bit more. I mean, there's some prospects coming out here in the draft. Maybe if a Paris Johnson drops or what is Peter Skoronski drops, maybe. I don't know if they will.
You gotta go get those guys.
Yeah, but also get cornerback help. Like they need cornerback help. They need linebacker help. Like I just don't know about this team. You bought in Brissett, but that's not moving the needle. I like Brissett, but that's not moving the needle. So I just feel like they need to go ahead and get a game changer at quarterback and then shore up some of them holes on the defense, to be honest with you, and sell the team.
Yeah. This I think the D line is top tier. They need linebacker help. They need defensive back help.
That's the only thing that's dominant on this team.
The offense has young pieces that you need a quarterback, and I don't think Jacoby is that guy to really. Jacoby's gonna have to go against Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott, and I still don't think he's gonna move the needle for them. Like, I don't get how he's another one that just gets all these starting jobs, and he's not a game changer that
like
teams
Baker.
are looking. No, Baker has no. That's a little different. Baker's better than him. I don't care what no one says. Baker's better than him.
No, he's not.
Baker's has a better arm. He's better than him.
We're not gonna start on this nonsense today. We both know where we stand.
You want to make another? No. We already got enough bets. But so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna let you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let you think about this. Baker season? Because he's in my division, so I can't have him doing. I can't have him overachieving.
Overachieving. That means you got. That means you ain't too high on him if he gonna overachieve.
Well, he's in my division now. So if he went somewhere else, then that's my boy. That's my boy right there. So yeah, the Commanders. I don't know what they're doing, man. They just have no foundation right now. And so the Bucks. So they released Playoff Lenny. They released Cameron Brate. They released Donovan Smith and traded Shaq Mason. They needed the cap space because this is another team that needed to find some money to spend. I still think they have a low-end top 10 defense, which they showed. And I mean, they allow one of the lowest points per game. They have a very young secondary. They resigned Jamal Dean. And I honestly think Jamal Dean is a solid corner. I actually wanted him to come to Atlanta, but they paid him the money. And I mean, he was top 10 in yards per target, in yards per reception. And he also was top 5 in target separation with damn near 1.5 being coverage. When a guy catches the ball, being at least 1.5 yards between him and the receiver. They signed veterans. They signed veterans to 1-year deals, setting up for future cap space. So they're trying to plan for the future. They know they're probably not going to be that good this year. They need to figure out what they want to do with Mike Evans because he's 30 years old, making some big money, and they need to figure out what they want to do on that end. I mean, they signed Baker Mayfield, who's their bridge quarterback. Okay. We know that.
What that mean?
Hey, I don't know, man. You take it how you want.
What that mean? I need to know what that means. I mean, you said they signed Baker, and then Take it how you. What that mean? I'm
take it
just
how
trying
you
to
want.
figure out. Does that mean that they're going to be a playoff team this year?
And I don't know, man. I don't know. The Falcons are gonna be a playoff team this year. But in the draft, I'm sure they're hoping that maybe Will Levis falls to them, falls outside the top 10, or maybe they trade up and they go get Paris Johnson, to beef up that O line. I don't think they really need much on defense. They don't really need to draft a defensive back in the first round, a linebacker. They need to build up the O line or go up and trade for and get a quarterback. So that's what they need to do.
And then the last team, Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers. You got anything for them?
I think you hit it right on the head. Like they just don't have the splash on offense. They need offensive line help. Kenny Pickett has to step up and show improvement in year 2. Najee, I have this love-hate relationship with Najee. Like like when you look at him run, he's not very explosive, but like he like sometimes
I'd say second part of the season last year, he
he
started to
picked
turn
it
it
up.
back on.
He
Yeah.
picked it up, but the first half he just looked slow and beat up, and I'm like, this is only a year 2 player. Like, what's going on here? So, but you're right. He did pick it up second half of the season. Pat Freiermuth, they got a tight end. They got some weapons out there. They need another receiver, and hopefully their defense stays healthy.
Yeah, that's like I said, add a third wide receiver. I mean, after Pickens and Deontay, who do they really have? And it's not no explosive wide receiver out there. Like they don't have an explosive wide receiver. So I say try to go get some speed. Try to find a game changer on offense. And then the Steelers are notorious for basically kind of telegraphing who they're going to pick. I've been hearing a lot of Joey Porter Jr. coming to them, and they want a cornerback. And they picked up Patrick Peterson, but they had a hole with Cam Sutton leaving. I mean, yeah, bringing somebody to play behind to learn under Patrick Peterson. Also, I think that they need to fire Matt Canada immediately. I mean, their plays are just boring and they stall out a lot. And I'm not saying that he's hindering Kenny Pickett, but Kenny Pickett probably could be even better than what he is if he had like a Brian Daboll look at what Daniel Jones out here doing. I think Kenny Pickett might be better than Daniel Jones, to be honest with you. I don't know. They might be the same. I don't know. And I said O-line, and then maybe consider safety, even though they just brought in Keanu Neal. But now you got Keanu Neal and
Keanu Neal's more of like a box guy. He can't cover.
That's how I'm like. They got Keanu Neal and Minka. If Brian Branch drops to them, maybe think about it.
Yeah. I don't even know what kind of receiver they can really get in the first round because I think they're more inclined to picking an O lineman than anything.
I think it's cornerback or O-line.
Yeah. Corner O line, and I think it's just the factor that Joey, his dad played for that organization, and I think that's really the big narrative there. But they could definitely use the cornerback help as well.
I wonder, does he still coach there?
I could have sworn he was.
He might still be. I can't remember.
Yeah. All right, round robin. Let's get it. So, let's list off some things and let's see what the other has to say. So I'll start it off. Despite the offseason issues, Jalen Carter will still be a top 10 pick.
Well, I got it the other way. Jalen Carter is going to slide out the top 10. Hey, I've been hearing a lot about his character. I've been hearing a lot about his practice ethics, or however you want to call it. Like they say, he doesn't really like to practice. Coaches have to motivate him to practice. Like, I mean, I think he's gonna have to go into a stable environment that has the veterans to mold him. And I mean, I don't know how many of those teams are in like do you think the Lions are going to take a chance on him, where they could go get somebody that they feel could come in there immediately, and they're not going to have to put in as
Well,
much
it,
to huh?
if there's two teams right off the top of my head, if they allow this guy to fall past them, that's ridiculous.
Like
And
who?
and obviously the first one's going to be the Atlanta Falcons, and that's because we're at number 8. So if we allow him to, and we need the D line help, if we allow him to move past us, that's crazy. And you're right there in Atlanta, so you're able to have eyes on him at all times.
Exactly.
And
So they might already know how he is because he's right in Atlanta.
and then Philly, if Philly allows him to go past 10 with that type of defense, with that type of pass rush, him and Jordan Davis for the next 5-6 years,
I mean,
yo,
think about it. The Raiders came out and said that they wasn't going to be interested in him, but then Josh McDaniels kind of retracted and said, "No, no, nobody said we're not interested in him still." But I mean, there's some character questions about him. I mean, maturity and
he's young.
work ethic. Yeah, I'm just
I
like,
get the worth ethic, but anything like besides the one incident that ended up, tragically someone losing their life, multiple
mhm.
people, and besides that, I mean, what other off the field issues has he really shown? I mean, he hasn't, and none of his teammates came out and say he was a bad teammate. And I didn't hear anything like that. And I mean, besides the worth ethic on the field, I personally didn't hear that, but maybe there are reports about that. I don't know. I know he did go into his pro day overweight. So,
And didn't even finish the pro day.
yeah. So, I mean, but when you put on the tape, is he a good player? Is he a bad player? When you look at the tape, is he a good player or is he a bad player? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, what am I? Katie said once he went to the Warriors, it became the gymnastics and how to discredit him every step of the way.
No, it just it, I don't think that at all. Like it was nothing about KD. It was just that at the end of the day, this is Steph's team. You went to Steph's team. That you didn't build this roster. The roster wasn't built around you. You did you yes, you were the best player on the team. Yes. But at the end of the day, it's Steph's team, and only thing you really went there for was to ring chase. You only really went there to win a ring, and when you put him on that roster, it's just cheating. It's literally cheating. You have the two best shooters of our generation. Steph is the best shooter of all time, and then you have a guy who was very very effective on the defensive end and had a high IQ for basketball in Draymond Green. And then only thing Kayvon Looney is there for is to grab boards and to be a cleanup guy on the glass. And then you add a high powered top 3 player in the league, and KD, probably the best scorer of all time that can shoot anywhere from the court onto that roster that already had they already had 2 rings. Come on now.
They had one. Yeah, one.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they had one, but then they
Yeah.
went 73
Nine,
and 9,
7-3.
and then you join that roster. You guys just become the most overpowered roster in basketball, and then you win 2 back to back, and then you went for a three-peat. And granted, you were hurt, and things were said, and again, that's why you left the team, and then they still won one without you. so, so no, it's not about him. It's just he just wasn't at the end of the day, Steph is gonna get all the glory because that's Steph's team.
Um, I didn't take it that way. I took it as people literally go out their way to talk down on KD. I feel that way. I mean,
Like
I
how?
think
What do you mean by that?
Charles Barkley stays with Kevin Durant name in his mouth. It's, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like even when he got traded to the Suns, oh, now he's going to go join another super team. The Suns aren't a super team.
They are
Like,
pretty. They are
like
Bro, they went to the finals 2 years ago.
Bro, what does
They
that
went to the,
mean?
they went to the finals 2
Chris
years
Paul
ago.
is on his last leg. DeAndre Ayton ain't no game changer at center. The only player that you can really say up over there is really like that is Devin Booker. You saw they were struggling when Kevin Durant went out, or even before he went there. What super team is struggling? Let me know.
Bro, Devin Booker didn't barely played all year.
No, I'm saying when he was there. I'm saying when he was there, the Suns still were struggling even without KD being there. I just feel like people go out their way to try to discredit this man and his greatness, and I'm just like, I'm not here for it, man. I literally think KD. I can't really say he's the second best of this generation because Steph has won another championship, but I think he's the third best player of this generation. To be honest with you, I mean, he gets buckets and all he wants to do is ball, and he doesn't bother nobody. But yet, everybody is always worried about what this man is doing.
All right. I bet you. Okay. So I don't agree with the narrative as far as I feel like people only come at KD when it comes to the rings because of how he won his rings. Like LeBron led that Cavaliers team. Granted, the Kyrie Irving was there, but before LeBron got there, what was Kyrie Irving doing? Nothing.
He was no, but
He,
he was balling. He was
but
ascending
but they
player.
were they were never but they were never in the playoffs. They
But
never
I
even
get, but I
touched
get that.
being
But I
close
get
to the
that. But
playoffs.
also, but you also got to factor in any place LeBron goes, he ain't going to no sorry situation. So when he went back to the Cavs, it ain't like he came by himself. He brought Kevin Love with him.
He definitely
Uh,
bought Kevin Love, and Kevin Love had
so
to change his game, and he did.
ex- exactly. So I'm like, he still brought somebody in there with him. That was a super team. And when he
And
went to the lake,
honestly,
when he went to
and
the lake,
honestly, if Draymond didn't get suspended, they probably would have never won that ring.
I agree. I agree with that. So that's why I'm just like I can't. I'm not one of them ones that just pick and choose. All of it's the same. I don't care if KD went to a 73 win team. All these players they try to line themselves up with other great players. And LeBron's situation, I know everybody like to say, "Oh, it's different." It's not. All of it's the same to me. Like when he went to Miami, that was D Wade team, and he aligned his stuff with D Wade to learn how to win. And he brought in Chris Bosh, and then all these other veterans followed. Like I'm not here to discredit this man. Granted, LeBron has won since then, even though it was the bubble championship, and he also won in Cleveland. Mm, like you said, the Draymond thing, but I'm not here to discredit that man today.
Yeah, he
But
won. They won the
yeah,
ring.
I'm just like, I just feel like people not gonna appreciate KD until he's gone. And hey, maybe I imagine even if he wins it this year, people gonna have something negative to say about him.
I think it's the teams that he joined in order to win the ring.
Where do you
Like
want him to go? Is the
I'm not.
question.
I'm not saying KD can go anywhere he wants. That's what he did. He went to, but he it's the. I think the issue with a lot of people is the team that he chose. He went to the best assembled roster in the league.
Because
Like,
he liked how they played.
okay, so then the way it's just like that's just like the bubble championship. It's just like, all right, LeBron, you got the ring. AD, you got your ring, but it was the bubble championship. It's like, but there's a but. It's like KD, all right, you got 2 rings. Yes. Um, KD is the greatest 7-footer shooter, greatest scorer of our generation. Probably like in our generation, probably is the top 3, top 5 best player. Top 3 best player that we've seen. And it's like, okay, he has 2 rings, but I mean, he went. It's like a but. It's when you come to the rings, it's like, but that team was like really just cheating.
But
Like,
but see, they only do that with KD because whenever you bring up these team players and they say,
who
"Oh, they he," no, I'm just saying when they bring up players and they be like, "Oh, such and such has won is a 3-time championship." Three-time
who
champion. No, I'm just saying people in
no
general.
bring the example.
Let's just say Robert Orr. they'll say, "Oh, Robert Horry is what he won seven championships." They'd be like, "He's
bro,
a he's a
bro,
7 or 6 time
bro.
champion." And
Robert Horry is nowhere on the
oh,
level
but
of.
no, but
He's
what
not
I'm
even
saying,
better than like
I
Steve
agree.
Nash.
I agree, but what I'm saying is they don't put context on these rings. So I'm just like, why does it matter how he got him? I mean, if he didn't have him, they would be talking down on him about it then. But now that he got him and he found a way to get him, now it's a problem how he got him. Like,
Nah,
bro,
that's different.
people
That's
can't
different.
win for losing.
We talk about one of the best players of all time. That's the issue. So it's really just the asterisk on his rings and not him as a talent. Him as a talent, there's no doubt about it that he's one of the greatest players of all time. Top 10 talent, top 12 talent of all time. But it's when you come to the rings, it's that's just the asterisk, just like same thing with LeBron. It's just like he has a bubble championship. He won two with Miami and he won, one with Cleveland.
I'm just not here for any KD disrespect.
Hey, it's not disrespect. I'm not disrespecting KD. I say he's one of the greatest players of all time because he is.
What
Hey,
else you
I'll
got?
take hey
Huh?
KD kind of Houston anytime you want, bro. We'll accept it.
Moving on. Moving on.
All right. Bill Belichick is on the hot seat.
Oh
Bill
hell yeah.
Belichick is definitely on the hot seat, especially potential firing after struggles with the afterlife of Brady.
Uh, I'm here with you on that. That's why I had to send that thing in the group chat the other day. Belichick got his name off the back of Brady. Like that's just what it is. And it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you find a generational talent like Brady, the GOAT, and you hit your whack into him, and he got you all those championships. Granted, I will say the first couple championships, the defense more so carried them. But after that, when Brady became Brady, hey, it was nothing else they could do about it. And so that's why I'm just like we've seen what is going on 3 or 4 years since Brady has gone, and the most they've done is made it to the playoffs and got blown out by the Bills. And then after that, didn't make the playoffs. I think in back to back year, or they missed the playoffs, then made it to the playoffs, and then missed it again last year. So I don't think Bill Belichick is changing anything anymore.
Yeah, I don't see Bill changing his scheme. I don't see Bill changing the way he drafts, the way he tries to build his rosters. Um, but I will say I can't see Robert Kraft just firing Bill Belichick. I'll say that. I don't think he has. I don't want to say the guts because he's the owner, he's the billionaire, but I don't see him saying goodbye to Bill. And it's just it may be a respect thing. It may be it may be a respect thing, but at some point you're like, yo, this you gotta we need to win at some point. But yeah, I don't know about that.
That boy they're gonna just say they're mutually parting ways after
Yeah,
this season.
yeah. I give
Um,
it two. I give it 2 seasons.
two, especially especially
Because I
since
don't
he
think
said he doesn't. Hmm?
good.
Especially since they said that they ain't interested in going to get Lamar. That might have been his only saving grace to keep on coaching this team.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I give Bill 2 more years.
Another one. Dame is shutting it down for the rest of the season. Have we seen Dame Lillard play his last game in Portland
I have no
on
clue.
the Blazers?
I don't know. I have no clue because I don't know what's going through Dame's mind. I know Dame wanted to win a championship for Portland, which is cool. I respect it, but you see what everyone else is doing. KD went to the Suns. Kyrie went to the Mavs. Teams are trying to win rings, and they are going to keep getting the best players, trying to form the best rosters. And if you just want Portland to just keep trying to develop and draft young guys, you're not going to win in Portland, brother.
I think he's probably played his last game in Portland as a Trailblazer. I think he's gonna find his way down there in South Beach,
I had a
and
feeling you was going to say that in LA. Yeah.
nah,
South
nothing
Beach
about
in
LA.
Miami.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But LA, that LA, I don't care about them. I
He
think he's
gonna
coming
find his way
down.
to the Lakers, man.
How?
I don't
They
know.
don't even have picks. I think he finds his way down there to South Beach, creates a big three with Bam and Butler, and we will be bounced back to be able to challenge for that Eastern Conference championship. But Dame, you're not gonna win there. That's a really young team. It's not put together to be able to win like how the Warriors did last season. So I just think that they're like, I just feel like he's wasting his time there. Him and Bradley Beal.
And Grant gonna go. Grant is going to go get the money next year. So
I believe that's another factor in why I think he's going, because I don't think Grant's gonna come back.
yeah, yeah. My next one here is Bronny James inks a $7.2 million NIL deal. He is the highest paid player that's going into college.
Mm.
And where do you think he's going to play ball next? College or the G League? He narrowed it down to 3 teams: Oregon, USC, and OSU.
OSU. Just because of his dad. His dad loves Ohio, so I could see him going back to OSU. I don't know. You think, bro? I don't want to be a hater, but I don't know if Burt's gonna make the league. To be honest with you, I think he just gets all this hype because of his dad. I mean, he's a good player, but I don't know if he's gonna
He dropped
be able to.
He dropped 50. Nah, he's actually developed into a really good player. You could tell he has. If you watch him play, you could tell he has a high IQ for the game. He has the passing ability that his dad has, and he could shoot. He scored 15 and granted they lost, but he dropped 15 in the McDonald's All American game, and that's all from threes.
Mm,
I
man,
think he's gonna be a good player. Now he's not he's not
what
he's
is?
not 6'8". He's not 6'8",
I was gonna say,
240.
what is he? What is he like? 6'2", 6'3"?
But I think he's more like the 6. Yeah, I think he's like 6'2". But he can shoot. You know, Bron can't shoot, man.
In his older age, he's gotten better.
Yes, of course, because that's what he has to rely on. But yeah, I think he's gonna go to OSU as well, following his dad's footsteps, which I think he should do his own thing. But a lot of these players, that's what they like to do. And then also now you got 2 young, talented on the football end, as far as Marvin Harrison Jr. and you got Bronny James, and OSU is gonna make all this money off of these 2 guys, and they're both top 10 in NIL right now. So
Bird gonna be going up next season, though.
Shoot, we'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. on Iron.
I'm sure y'all will.
I'm recruiting.
Bleacher Report had a poll: who's the best team in the NFL? 35% of the people said the 49ers, 30% said the Chiefs, 20% said the Bengals, and 14% said other. Where do you fall on this? Who is the best team in the league?
I mean, it's the defending champs, the Chiefs. They got a young defense. They got Pat Mahomes. They got Travis Kelce. They got a top 5 O-line. I mean, receivers are plug and play, and they can go get another weapon. They try and get D-Hop. The biggest thing, everyone's trying to go get D-Hop. There's a couple teams out there.
Ain't nobody trying to get D-Hop. They just came out with a lot
the
of
Ravens. The Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Falcons are all. Oh, and the Giants. All 5 of those teams is trying to go get D-Hop.
The Bills are not trying to get D-Hop. They just came out with reports that they ain't trying to get him.
That's all football talk, man. That's all football talk.
Lord have mercy. I don't see how the 49ers could be the best team because of the quarterback situation. Chiefs, you're not going to get my vote. Bengals, best team in the league. I mean, we got a top one quarterback in the league. We got best wide receiver core in the league. Uh, got a young defense that we're setting up. I believe that they should be considered the best team right now. Um, I'm I say a tie with the Chiefs. I ain't gonna just dismiss the Chiefs. I say a tie between the Bengals and the Chiefs. Um, because their games always come down to 3 points. Always. So I don't think there's much difference between the two teams, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. All
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
Question. You want, because we only got 20 minutes left, you want to cut these last two each and just start the draft?
That's fine.
All right, cool. And we can save those for next week. All right, so I'm gonna cut that small part there. All right, so let's get into our official No Games, Just Business podcast mock draft. Let's get it, Don. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see this live as we pick. And shout out to PFF for being able to use their system here that we're about to use for this mock draft. And let's get it, Don. So you are the Panthers. Who you
Uh,
choosing, man? Who you choosing?
Man, come on now. I'm picking CJ Stroud. I mean, Brad has a good arm. He's very smart. Has the size of Frank Wright likes, and I mean, I kind of feel like he proved himself versus Georgia in the playoffs. So I think coming and bringing him into the fold with Frank Wright and Jim Caldwell and McCown, I think he's gonna be built for success.
Wow. Wow. I don't know. I hear some smoke and mirrors that they're trying to, fake out the
Oh
Texans
Lord.
and they no, I'm serious. I hear some smoke and mirrors saying they're trying to fake out the Texans and they might go get Bryce Young, or they really like Anthony Richardson as well. Who knows? Who knows? But as the Houston Texans, they have no choice but to take the next best, which will be Bryce Young. And I mean, they talk about him having an arm talent of Patrick Mahomes like,
All
and
right.
and he's a smaller quarterback, but hopefully he's able to keep up in the league and stay healthy, and yeah, let's see what he could do.
Next pick, Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they literally don't have no game changer on that offense, to be honest. I mean, defense, to be honest with you. I mean, they just lost JJ Watt. What's that other one that went to the Allen? I think that's his name. Or did he go to the I think he went to Broncos.
Zach Allen went to the Broncos.
Yeah,
They lost
he's
Brian
going.
Murphy.
So, I mean, they just need talent wherever they can get it. And I'm looking no further than Will Anderson Jr. I mean, bro had 27 sacks and a half in the last two seasons. And I think that's the first building block to build up a defensive side, somebody that can wreak havoc on a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. If they don't trade out of that pick, they definitely need a game changer. It's just, man, you just it's sad to see it going to the Cardinals because we just understand that this is going to be a bad roster for a couple of years.
Yeah, they're going to probably have another top five pick next year.
Yep. Um, and who knows? That could be a receiver for them. So with this pick to the Colts, they need to find their quarterback of the future. And it sounds like Anthony Richardson is going to be going to the Colts, and that's what I'm going to choose for them. Be a game changer there, a very athletic guy that needs to develop, and hopefully he can be the face of the franchise there, man.
I
Big
ain't gonna
arm,
lie.
big arm.
I ain't gonna lie. I wanted him to slip to the Seahawks so they could have somebody to build around. But since you took him, I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter.
Wow.
The probably top three best prospects in this draft. I mean, like we said earlier, lacks maturity, but I mean that Seahawks system, he might be able to become a star, like how people are projecting him to be. I mean, he wreaks havoc.
Yeah. Like I said, put the tape on him, and he's a good player. Top three talent besides Bijan and and Will Anderson. This guy could be a number one pick in some classes.
Mhm.
All right, now we go to the Detroit Lions. Man, oh man, they need another receiver. They need a tight end. I mean, but you don't pick tight ends this early in
They
the
could draft a
draft.
quarterback in the making.
They could draft a quarterback in the making. That is very true. Or they can go with a corner, And for them, I think they want to beef up that defensive line. I mean that defense, and they're gonna go with a guy in Christian Gonzalez. I think they're gonna pick the fast guy. He is 6'1", 205, but have 4.3, 4.4 speed, and you pair him with Jeff Okuda. Now hopefully you got two lockdown corners that will solidify that defensive end, and hopefully the guy from the Steelers can slide into the nickel back, or maybe Jeff plays the nickel back. But at least you got a speedster back there that can move around the defense.
Ooh, I was expecting him to be there for the Raiders, to be honest with you. Let's go with I wasn't expecting that one. Let's go with Witherspoon. I mean, they need another cornerback. I mean, he can lock down a whole side of the field. They say he's really good at man coverage and pressing people, and he's physical. So I think that'll be able to at least the Raiders won't have to worry about one side of the field if they draft him.
Yeah, and they still got Trevon Mahig back there at the safety position. So hopefully they can start developing some of these young guys and start hitting on their draft picks, because that's what they're gonna need. They start hitting on their draft picks. And now the Atlanta Falcons. We could draft a quarterback, right? We do need a receiver, and we do need edge rush. There's still a lot of guys here that we can choose. We also can pick Peter Skoronski and move him to the guard position, the left guard position, which we need. So, I think this team is going to be looking for another guy that can help out Desmond Ridder on the offensive end, and pick a guy that is talented and that could play the slot alongside with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. And I'm going to go with Jackson Smith and Enigma.
Oh, you messing up my draft.
And we gonna start building like the old Atlanta Falcons and be a high-powered offense. That's what I like.
For the Chicago Bears, I have them taking Peter Skoronski. I mean, probably the best tackle in the draft. They need O-line help. The O-line, I mean, it was last season. It was nothing special. And, I mean, Skoronski is a well-rounded tackle who can move his feet a little bit. So I think that's going to be the perfect thing, because they already have wide receivers. They're building up something in Chicago, and why not just go ahead and shore up that offensive line?
I like it. I like that. And he's right there he's right there close to Chicago as well. So basically getting a hometown guy right there. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, this guy drops down to Philly. This is like a steal for them right here. And that's going to go with Tyree Wilson. I mean, 6'7", long arm guy that can get around the edge, pass rush, and that's what they want to continue to build. You pair him with Hassan Reddick on the edge, and now you're getting back to Philly football here, what they did last year.
What's the wide receiver? Let me see the wide receivers that's out right now. Could go with Johnson. What about go up very quick? Click on the wide receiver thing.
Yep, it's for receivers.
No, I'm saying click it to add cornerback. Okay. Um, I guess go with Johnson from TCU. I
Wow.
mean, the Titans, they really don't have nothing on that offense, and you bring in a big body receiver, and I mean, I'm still Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback, but I mean, to be honest with you, him and AJ Brown, they was a little nice little duo. To be honest with you, give him a bigger wide receiver and see what can happen. To be honest with you,
Wow. Wow. Titans taking a receiver over an old lineman. Okay. Okay.
yeah, hey, that's one of their needs.
It's very true. They do need it. They still need it. So now we got the Houston Texans again. So let's see here. So we go ahead and we take Bryce Young with the number 2 pick. And I mean, Jackson Smith Enigma is off the board. Quentin Johnson, the number 1 receiver, is off the board. Um, let's see here. So let's I mean, they re-signed Larry Tunzel, but they still need to protect. They still need to protect. So we're gonna go with a bigger body guy in Torrance
You're taking
for
Torrance. Oh
for
my
for the
Jesus,
for the interior of this O line, and we're gonna give him Torrance.
bro! What? What are we doing here, Darius? What are
We're gonna take Torrance. They need to
what
beef
are
up
we
the interior part. Hey, they're gonna have to run the football. They brought in they got Damian Pierce and
Oh,
my man
they
Singletary.
need they need offensive weapons. What are we doing here,
They,
man?
hey, they we hey, let me ask you a question here. Let me ask you a question. You think Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Josh Downs, any of these guys are gonna go top 15?
I mean, I would have went even. I mean, look at that. They need defensive line help.
You took you
Canty
took
Canty was still there.
you took you took Quentin Johnson. That was gonna be my pick for them right there. Quentin Johnson, you took him. You
Yes,
the Titans, they want to get back to running the football. You pick Quentin
yes,
Johnson.
because you took Jackson Smith and Jigba up above. That's who I had originally going to the Titans. But I mean, nah, man, nah. I would have went Canty or some. I shoot, maybe even Flowers or maybe even draft Will Levis. Like, I don't know, man. Um, who we still got out here? The Jets, they need offensive tackle, tight end, or defensive line. Um, let me see the offensive tackles they have still.
I mean, Paris Johnson sitting right there.
Harris Johnson is
Robert
there.
Jones is there, but I mean,
Let's go Paris Jackson. Johnson, I mean, best old lineman still out there, and to help shore up that Jets offensive line. I mean, I know they like to say they got Makai Becton, but Burr's been injured like the last couple of years. He's came into the league, and then Brown. I mean, Burr about 38, I believe. So bringing somebody that can shore up that offensive line for them.
yeah, and as much as I want to draft Jordan Addison because I think that'll be a good pick for the Patriots, and I think he'll definitely fit that system. I think they're gonna continue to do what they do best, and they're gonna draft O linemen, and I'm gonna go ahead and take Roderick Jones for the Pats.
Mm. Ooh,
Now we got the
Jesus.
Packers.
Jeez. For the Packers, I think they're gonna go. I just think it's kind of a reach to go some of these wide receivers right now. I got them going Kalijah Canty. I mean, Russ still right there, and why not? He has quick hands, has quick feet. I mean, people are comparing him to Aaron Donald. Why not?
Hmm. I saw that. Aaron Donald. Okay, now we got the Washington Commanders. They can use a corner, they can use a QB, a guard, a center, a linebacker, and I think that I mean they got Jacoby Brissett back there. They have Sam Howell. Wow. Um, for them, I'm gonna go with Lucas Van Ness.
Mm.
A edge, a linebacker, a guy that can, coming off the edge. He's a stand up linebacker that they need, and hopefully he can add to that pass rush for them.
Good solid pick. I don't know if they
Because they,
need.
they haven't hit on linebackers from the last few that they picked in the first round.
I don't know if they need another edge though. But I mean, I guess it never hurts to have them. Pittsburgh. I'm looking no further. I mean, they signed Keanu Neal, so that's why I won't take Brian Branch. But I'm gonna go Joey Porter Jr. I mean, that's been what we've been hearing. And Brony allowed 68 yards out of 106 press snaps. Like that's pretty good. I can't lie. So I just think the Steelers like to sometimes leave their wide receivers. I mean cornerbacks out there on the island and see if Joey Porter can handle it.
Wow, I like that. I like that. And his dad played for the Steelers as well, so
Mhm.
that'll be a good fit. Good fit. So the Detroit Lions, I mean, they could. I mean, Will Levis dropping down to this pick right here is like a steal for them. Especially after I done picked Christian Gonzalez to beef up that defensive back room, and with this pick here, I'm gonna give them another weapon because I think bad football teams should take very good players, and you let Derek Goff stick for another year, and I'm gonna take Dalton Kincaid, a guy that was high target, high volume player who had a very good season for this very good Utah team, and now they get their tight end of the future right there. Now you had Amon St. Brown and Kincaid. Got two solid pieces.
Um, Tampa Bay. I'm gonna do y'all a solid one. I really am. Draft that guy right there, Will Levis. You get a quarterback that I believe probably could have went out the job because Baker's not that guy. I mean, even if you do want him to sit behind Baker, you can have him sit there for half the season because that's probably when Baker's going to get benched, and you bring in someone that people are hyping up to be maybe the next Josh Allen. So I guess we gonna find out.
Yes, we will. Yes, we sure will. Okay, so now we got the Seattle Seahawks. That you drafted them, Jalen Carter earlier in this draft. Let's see what kind of interior O lineman we have here. Okay,
Good
we do
God.
have some tackles here that can possibly move to the guard position, and wow. So I mean, they do need D line help. They do need edge rush, and you know what? You know what I'm gonna do for them? I'm gonna go ahead and take Brian Brees here as an interior D lineman for them to help with that interior pass rush and run stopping. Because I mean, if we look at it, I mean, I'm not really worried about. I mean, Stafford and Cooper Cup. They really don't have a running back there with the Rams. Let's look at the who else they got? They got the Cardinals, who's going to have to rely on their run game. And I mean, they're playing in the NFC. That's a big rushing conference right there. So beef up that
Yeah.
interior D line.
Yeah. For the Los Angeles Chargers, some of their needs are running back, linebacker, and defensive line after free agency. So I look no further at wide receiver because they need help at wide receiver. And I got them getting that boy right there, Zay Flowers. He's a quick,
Zay
shifty guy.
Flowers. Wow.
I mean, he's gonna bring speed to them. And why not give Justin Herbert another weapon with two guys that you know might not be the most dependable out there as when it comes to injury luck. I'll say that.
I like that. I like that because now you bring in another guy that can, go into the slot, and now you got
Mhm.
another weapon for Herbert going forward.
And
And
most great
now
teams have a lot of weapons.
they do, they do, and now we got the Baltimore Ravens, who needs an edge rush, a corner, and a receiver. Obviously, they need a receiver. And if this guy is still on the board at this time, you go get him, and that's
You're
Jordan
gonna take
Addison.
him over. Oh, ow.
We're going to take Jordan Addison, who I think who's going to be a good prospect in this draft. Honestly, if you ask me, I think he might be the third best receiver in this draft because I think Jackson Enigba is going to be the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Quentin Johnston's going to be that good of a player, but that's just me. And Jordan Addison, I think is going to be at least number 3 behind possibly this guy here from North Carolina and Josh Downs.
For me, for the Minnesota Vikings, I got them selecting Deontay Banks. I mean, he's a versatile cornerback, um, a great tackler, and I just think to help shore up some of that defense. I mean, they lost Patrick Peterson. They need to start bringing in some pieces, some young guys that can um, basically help shore up that defense. And Mike Flores is a pretty good defensive coordinator, so I think he can help mold this young guy into something special.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And with that, I am going to go ahead and take Nolan Smith to the Jaguars. He's going to go out there to Florida because they need an edge rush, and you got a speedster, a guy that can get around the tackles, and hopefully he's able to get to the quarterback out there in Jacksonville with Jacksonville. And now you got him and what's the guy that they took last year? Tavon from Georgia. Now you got 2 Georgia Bulldogs out there. They had the
Oh,
athletic guy.
Walker.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Now you got
Oh,
2 young guys coming off the edge.
for the New York Giants, I mean, I know they have other like stuff that they need. All right, now I'm going in, but pull up who they could. It's either out of Brian Branch and Josh Downs, to be honest with you. But mm, how much further is Brian Branch gonna fall? To be honest with you,
Oh yeah.
because if he doesn't go there, I have another team at the back of the draft that I would probably take him to. But Giants really need a wide receiver. We need wide receiver help. I mean, they bought back Shepard, but they only have Waller and Saquon as legit weapons. I'm not really a Richie guy. Ugh. Let's just take Josh Downs. Give them another wide receiver weapon for Daniel Jones, and let's see how that works out for them.
And who we're gonna take?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs. Okay. Wow. Wow. With the safety position needed, you take Josh Downs. So
They
let's
need
see.
wide receiver too though. But they didn't they lose Jordan Love? I kind of wish I did select Brian Branch now.
Okay. So we have 6 picks left. Um, so we're gonna swap. So we'll go me, you, then you again, and me.
So I'll get the Bills, Bengals, and Eagles.
Yes. And I'll get the Cowboys, Saints, and Chiefs. Okay. So, I mean, to be
You know
honest
you
with
want to you want to select them.
Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. Because Jerry Jones is talking about bringing Zeke back, but I can't see this guy coming out the first round. And if they don't bring Zeke back by the time the draft comes, I'm gonna go ahead and take Bijan Robinson for the Cowboys.
Mm. For the Bills, I got them selecting Will McDonald. I mean, they need an explosive edge rusher. I, like I said, I don't know McDonald. I don't know how Von Miller's coming back, to be honest with you. And why not get a game changer that could literally learn underneath Von Miller? Because we've seen after Von Miller, they don't really have nobody that can get to the quarterback consistently or even win half of the time.
He's definitely a help.
Oh, for my Cincinnati Bengals.
We
You
know what you
know,
want to do.
let's scroll down. Let's scroll down a little bit. People have been saying DeJuan Jones because bro, I think bro's like 6'8" or something like that. Have some twin towers with him and oh boy came from the Chiefs. Dang, his mind just slipped my name. That Orlando Brown. But I'm gonna go Antoine Harrison. Um, shoot,
Wow,
why
another
not?
tackle.
Yes. Hey, I'm showing up this offensive line so we don't have to worry about this no more. And then we can trade Jonah. Hey,
Right now, there's no market for him.
well, I believe the Jets might be looking at him. And I believe, depending on how some of these teams' first rounds go, if they don't get the offensive lineman that they thought they was going to get, we could see some Jonah Williams calls coming in.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go with the Saints here, and I mean
They do
they
need
need,
tight end help. Michael Mayer right there.
yeah, but they also need some D line help because they lost a bunch of them this offseason. Damn near all their starters except for Cam Jordan. So because they lost the edge rush, I'm gonna go with Miles Murphy, a guy that could probably play interior and exterior on the D line, and hopefully he becomes a versatile player for them.
Just go ahead and select Brian Branch for me for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
They
because they need
lost
it.
C.J. Gardner Johnson, plug and play, coming from Alabama. Burr made some plays in their secondary, and I believe that's going to shore up that secondary for the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that happening. And now for the Chiefs, I'm gonna go with Mozzie Smith here, interior D lineman, for them to shore up that D line. And cool. So here is our mock draft here. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. We got some
Oh, they
surprises
don't
coming.
grade it. Yes, yes, like that guard. Where he at? Where is he at?
To the Texans.
Yes, that is craziness. You should just took Paris Johnson if you wanted to do that.
Hey man. Hey man, they need to solidify the middle. Either way,
Jesus.
Torrance is going in the first round. Whether it's
No, he's
to,
not. I
yes, he
guarantee
is.
he does. I guarantee
I
you
bet
he
I
doesn't
bet
go.
you I bet you he'll go to the, if anything, he'll go to the Patriots.
Do you want to bet that he's not going to be a first round pick?
Patriots. I could see him going to the Steelers.
Do you want to bet?
Nah. Let's wait closer to the draft.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
wait till
Because
closer to the draft.
I know what you had going on with that one.
And I'm gonna take the picture of this and I'm gonna post it on our IG page. Don, man. This is another good one, man. We got our first mock draft in. Um, and yeah, man. So we got some good topics in today. We got some rebuilds. We got some tier lists that was all messed up. That
Yeah.
you should have put my Atlanta Falcons, put some more respect on them a little bit.
Ah, man, I believe I placed everybody properly. If anything, some people should have been dropped down even more than what I gave them props for.
Yeah. But guys, remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, hit us up on YouTube, TikTok, IG, Facebook. We're on all platforms here, Twitter. Um, Also, if you guys are watching this via YouTube, you'll be able to see the tier list and also the live draft that me and Don just did. And you guys already know, until next time, peace.